Welcome to the Marketing Revolution podcast. This is the underground movement of savage marketers from all over the world. We are not Fortune 500 companies. We are real entrepreneurs with real businesses that have one major thing in mind: to set goals and devour them daily. Because we understand everyone wants to eat, but only savage marketers are willing to do the hunt. Now let's get this revolution started. Hey, what's up, everybody? John Hiley here with the Marketing Revolution podcast and the Marketing Savage Facebook group. Coming to you guys today with a live podcast with the co-host that we bring in the most, Angela motherfucking Hiley.
Is my thingamabobber on over there?
Yeah, your thingamabobber is on over there.
So they can hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, because you know I'm trying to suppress you, right? I'm trying to keep the volume down.
Trying to hold me down.
Because the truth is, the more that I have...
man over here is trying to hold me down.
What I'm thinking is, if my volume's up and your volume's down, then that means more people will hear me. So then that means I get all the light turned towards me. And then that makes me happy because, you know, I really like the attention.
That is true.
Makes a lot of sense.
You're an attention whore.
It honestly makes a lot of sense to do things that way.
Yeah.
So, Angela, what are we talking about today?
Well, let's see. I have a story for y'all. So, over this weekend, John got himself a new watch.
Bling,
now,
bling.
But here's the story about this watch. It was on a Sunday, and he drug me all the way up to Grapevine. And as soon as we get in there, there's
to go see. Hold up. I got to pre-prep the story a little bit.
No.
Let me pre-prep this story a little bit. We were going to see a guy here in Dallas whose name is the fucking Iceman.
Yeah.
And the Iceman is the dude, like literally like 3 weeks ago, Post Malone was in his store. All the Dallas Cowboy football players. A lot of my friends go see this guy. This guy is the one who is known for
extremely nice gentleman.
Yeah, very nice gentleman. I don't know whether he's an Indian fella or something like that. He's literally right now getting me a quote together to put together a solid diamond and gold Marketing Savage fucking necklace pendant, like one of them like rap stars wearing shit.
All right, now it's my turn. So he drags me up there. And I was thinking maybe because we were up there prior, and it wasn't that busy. It was really nice. And we get there and this place is swamped with people. Like you're outside and it's hot as hell. And you go inside and it's muggy as hell because of all the people. And then I had a pair of like really cute white tennis shoes on. Well, they decided that they were going to rub the back of my feet really good. And there's just like blood everywhere. And I'm just like, oh,
now hold on for a second. Let me pre-prep this story.
This is horrid.
This happens after I take her to all the places that she wants to go. We get the opportunity to head on over to some woman's store where I got to buy like a fucking $100 candle and like a $200 blanket.
No, that
all
was
this
not that
shit.
Expensive.
Yes, it was.
Being very far-fetched.
Yes, it was. It was a little tiny $100 candle.
True.
And I don't even know how much the blanket and all the other stuff costs. So we go to this place and she is like dandy. I mean, literally
was $50 because it was huge.
Her
and the
shoes aren't bothering her
100.
then. Her shoes aren't bothering her then. It isn't until we go to the place I want to go.
No, it's not.
And we get ready to head into the place that I want to go. Like it's like she was in immediate pain. All of a sudden her shoes are digging into her feet. There's too many people in here. She's being suffocated.
I was being suffocated.
As we're going towards the shit that where I want to go. But before that, she was just fine and dandy.
John, you see my shoes? I had to throw them things away. They were covered in blood.
Now let me tell you guys something. Now hold on. I'm not gonna glaze past this shoe thing, okay? Because there was plenty of shoe stores in there, and I told her, okay, so her shoes are rubbing the back of her foot. So what's the first thing somebody would want to do? They'd want to put on a pair of sandals or incline. So I tell her, I'm like, well, let me walk into this store right here and just buy you a pair of slip-ins. Because they got these rubber slip-ins. You can just wear them through the mall. She tells me that she can't because she hasn't done anything with her toes lately.
I need a pedicure. They're very ashy.
Now you would think somebody who's hurting so bad, there's blood everywhere, like she just said, blood dripping on her shoes.
If I would have had sandals on, it still would have been a bloody mess too.
No, it wouldn't have. I seen them little sores you had back there.
They weren't little.
Yeah, they were.
No.
You're acting as if like you're David Goggins and you've ran a 200
I'm not comparing myself to that gentleman.
This is her David Goggins moment.
No,
the moment she walked through a crowded mall.
No,
the moment she walked through a crowded mall with some shoes that were rubbing the back of her foot. All right, go ahead. Let's keep going.
So, anyways, we get into the jewelry store. I don't even know why he's over here complaining. He walked out with a watch that he didn't think he was going to walk out with, and it was because of me.
All right, keep going. Keep going.
So he actually got his dream watch that he's been like really, really wanting. So, because in fact, when he was going in there, he was going to be getting a watch that was not his dream watch. But here's his wife, his loving wife that loves him and cares for him and feels like he needed something because he works his ass off. And you got that. But here's the thing. They take us back in this room.
The VIP room.
We're just sitting there, and I'm like, I felt very uncomfortable. I don't know. I guess I just feel uncomfortable when it comes to stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just not my, I don't know. But anyways.
We got us back there. We don't drink, and they're trying to get us like popping bottles. You want to drink, you know?
No.
There's like rap music playing on the TV.
Little Baby.
There's like leather couches back there, you know?
That's a nice setup. But here's the thing. So we're sitting there, and I'm like, okay, hurry up. I really want to get out of here, And they asked John to come out there, and the door, it's a very heavy door, but John opens it, and it's like, he doesn't realize how strong he is. And he like opens up the door, and the thing like hits the little bar area that they have, and it makes this huge, loud, like crashing noise. And thankfully, it didn't break anything.
Yeah,
but I was mortified. I'm like, get me out of here.
Well, what had happened was,
please get me out of here.
What had happened was, they had a bad terminal for my credit card, so they were trying to run my credit card and put the chip in there, and the chip kept kicking it back and basically saying that they needed to swipe it. So they tried to swipe it, and it wouldn't go through. So I was on the phone with my bank, and I'm like, "What the fuck's going on? Why is my credit card not going through?" And they basically said that card needs a chip insert. It can't be swiped. So I go out there and I'm talking to them on the phone. And as I walk out, I'm on the phone with my bank and I open the door, and this big ass heavy metal door hits their bar. Right. And didn't break anything though, but it did make like one fucking crazy racket up in that motherfucker. Like everybody looked at me all at the same time.
Yeah,
and ended up walking out there and found out that I was like, my bank guy that I was on the phone with, he's like, tell them that if they got another credit card terminal, because something might be wrong with it, or something's wrong with the chip in your card. While I'm like looking at him like, fuck, I use this card everywhere, so nothing's wrong with the chip in my card. So they end up, they had another credit card terminal and they popped it in there and it worked. So their credit card terminal was broke, so it wasn't able to read my chip. And then also my card has something on there where if you got a chip card, I think it was the Chase card that I used. It wasn't my American Express, because you can swipe my American Express. I see people do it occasionally, but the Chase card for whatever reason was just bam. It literally said they cannot swipe it. So it is like an insert only card. So that being said, yeah, that was an interesting thing, man. I got to meet the dude. To be honest with you, man, like in that environment and stuff like that, you would think they would be like a super expensive store, but they were more than fucking reasonable for shit that was authentic, like authentic, you know, shit that like has factory diamonds and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you got to find out when you're buying different watches and stuff like that. Like if you're going to get something that has I think this thing has like 7 or 10 carats of diamonds, like through the face of it. If you're going to get something like that, you're going to want factory diamonds, because the value of the watch is going to be based on that type of shit.
So if any people would like to, what's the name of that jewelry store again?
The jewelry store is Mark Samuels.
Yes.
Yeah.
They have a lot of pretty things in there.
Yeah. It's it's a dope little store. It's a place I'm going to be continuously going into down here eventually. Like I said, I've got the bling coming with the Marketing Savage logo. He's actually sending me a quote, and to me, like to be honest with you, to me, he was kind of giving me a rough idea of what it was going to cost. Like, it doesn't sound bad. Like, you would almost think like one of them big rapper logos, that's made out of white gold and just shredded with diamonds.
Are you going to give yourself like a new name? Like give yourself a nickname?
That's right.
Well,
D Savage. D Savage. Yeah.
What's the D stand for? Daddy?
Daddy Savage.
That's actually pretty good.
So anyhow, we're
that's what I'll start calling you. Instead of Big Daddy, we'll call you Daddy Savage.
Yeah. I can't fucking help it, man. Any of you guys who own some dope ass watches, man, you guys understand like what it is. It's almost like the same thing now that I got with fucking cowboy boots. I go in there and I actually I feel the same feeling that she feels. Like, everybody knows that she's the total boot whore. And I actually feel the feeling that she has whenever she buys and picks up these boots, but they're with cowboy boots. And the only brand that I found that I really like, it's a brand down here called Blackjack, made in Texas. And they got a lot of exotic shit. They got the exotic alligator. The alligator literally looks like it came out of the water. It's got the scales on it, It's not like some of your alligator, like my watch strap has alligator on it. And it just kind of looks like a square pattern, like it's like they've refined the skin, or I don't know, however they do that. But this actually has the scales of the alligator. Like, I literally had my other pair of type of shoes I like to wear, Yeezys, and we were in this store that sells like Yeezys and Jordans and all this shit. And I literally had these kids in there that were selling these shoes, petting my fucking boots.
I think we might have
one of the kids was like, one of the kids was like,
yeah, but I look over and there's John got in his foot.
Can you put your boot up here?
And the gentleman is petting John's shoe.
And interesting enough, so I don't know if we've talked to you guys since this, but our buddy Steve Kluko had an event over a couple weekends ago.
We've already talked about it.
But did we tell him about how I was wearing the cowboy hat?
Yeah, John was wearing his cowboy hat the entire time.
And she tried to tell me to begin with not to wear it. Now,
but you
granted,
had a fresh haircut.
Now, granted, I was the only one in there wearing a cowboy hat, but every single fucking person, like, I had people nodding at me, people looking at me, people shaking my hands, all the people that we went with, that we went with, like, literally, they, Jose Escamala started laughing. Dude, you're just doing what all of us wanted to do. He's like, we all wanted to be cowboys, shooting Indians. And he's like, you just out here living it.
Well, I felt a little awkward. I'm not going to lie. So I felt awkward. And then I went and rained on John's parade a little bit. And Amy's
tried to.
Amy's like, girl, don't worry. This is Texas. I'm just like, okay.
You can wear a cowboy hat anywhere in Texas. My next thing, though, I've been looking at, I almost bought a leather suit jacket last night. Now, this is literally is a brand called Cody Jinks. Is that what it is? Or Cody James? Cody Jinks is a singer, right?
Yeah, but I think his line is sold in Boot Barn.
Yeah, so this line is called Cody Jinks. And honestly, it's nice shit. Like, I was trying to sell myself on this leather suit top yesterday, and damn near walked out with it, but I wasn't feeling it. Like, I thought that when I put the shirt underneath, like a nice button-up shirt, I thought I was going to do something that it didn't do.
But see, you're a big man, and the way that
you're a big burly man.
Yeah, he's a big burly man.
That's your turd. If any of you guys haven't listened to that Crank Yankers where the lady calls the towing company and tells them that there's a big turd in the back. It's that Wanda. I can't remember her last name, Wanda, but she calls up the towing company. She's like, I just got my car from your towing company, and there's a turd in my back seat. And the guy's like, a what? She's like, there's a turd in my back seat. He's like, be scaring the kids and shit. Look like a 2x4 back here. And the guy's like, well, man, we don't make a habit of taking craps in cars. And she's like, well, how much you weigh? And he's like, 350 pounds. She's like, that's your turd. She's like, that's your turd. You sound like a big burly man. Probably came from you. Son, I'm going to have 7 on my side. You're going to be on the news tonight, buddy. You're going to be on the news tonight.
You're horrible.
So
I told John, I'm like, listen, you're a big guy, the way that you're proportioned, you need to go and get something tailored, to fit you properly. That way it gives you enough room, but then it fits you really good and it's not too big and not too small.
I really do want a nice suit. I've been thinking about that lately. I feel like every man should have like a really nice, like laid out suit, not like that fucked up suit. Like, my dad is an example of somebody who had a suit
like
that
the one that you bought at Goodwill back in the day.
Well, but like you said, tailored and nice and all that. I mean, something that just looked clean as fuck.
Well, yeah.
My dad, he kind of had that other suit, that in case you need it fucking suit, that one suit that you just bought and you never really want to wear, but you put it in the closet and it's like in case you need the fucking thing.
Like for a wedding or like a funeral.
You would have to wear a suit, then you would wear this thing, right? I would want a suit that would be like you're kind of looking out for an occasion to wear it. You know what I mean? You're like, man,
John will be wearing it.
That might be my damn. This might be my moment to put this motherfucker on. Go somewhere looking clean as fuck.
Go out shopping. John will have a suit on. He'll be dressed in the nines.
There's something savage about a suit, man. I didn't realize that until we started going down to Fort Worth. I started seeing some of these big oil boys coming out and tycoons and shit like that coming out of the big buildings down there, and I'm like, these motherfuckers look slick. They had boots on, so they didn't have to wear them goofy looking suit shoes. They had real deal boots on. That's one of the great things about cowboy boots. You can slip them motherfuckers on with just about anything like that and still be looking good.
Mm-hmm.
I think I picked up a pair of blackjack ostrich boots. Didn't even really know that they made boots out of ostrich, and apparently that's a very common thing. But damn, man, them things are comfortable as fuck.
I could have told you that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go in one ear and then out the other.
Well, I can only retain so much information.
So I want to talk about something else because I actually wrote a Facebook post about it a while back. And then next thing you know, I started seeing some memes and stuff of that nature. Because the biggest thing right now is, of course, I'm going to bring it up, is this whole COVID vaccine and whatnot. How they're really trying to push everybody to get it. I don't have nothing against it, but personally, my gut inside of me is saying, I don't need to get this thing. And I think the biggest thing is, especially, on my dad's side, they are very liberal, and I'll be scrolling through Facebook and reading some of their posts, and I'm like, you guys don't make a lick of sense at all. Here you're there screaming, right in your little posts, basically saying y'all need to get out there and get this vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
But you're all about pro-choice. It's your body. It's your will. You get to choose. And I'm thinking don't you sound kind of like a hypocrite? And I myself personally, I am pro pretty much everything. It's not my right to tell someone if they get pregnant that they should keep that child because we don't know the backstory. And I think it boils down to the same thing with vaccines. I'm cool if you want to go and get that thing. And if you feel like it's going to save the world, cool. But you also need to respect how I feel and the way I look at things.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen with the vaccine. I'll be honest with you. I'm way far on the fucking conspiracy and fucking spectrum of this. And I've been saying this since day one. This isn't something that I'm just bringing up now because there's some little viral videos going around about this shit. But here's what's going to happen with the vaccine. Literally, the people that are taking it are having their natural immune systems killed. Each time they take a booster shot, it's going to kill their natural immune system just a little bit more each and every time until literally they do not have a fucking immune system. I hate to say it like this. It's like fucking injecting yourself with something that turns into AIDS. And at one point, these people who are getting vaccinated are going to start getting really fucking sick. And what's going to happen is the news, the media, and the politicians are going to blame the unvaccinated people. So what they're going to do is they're going to create a fucking a mess of unvaccinated people versus the vaccinated people. And literally, it's going to get down to the point to where people are fucking dying and shit like that. And they're going to be trying to blame people that are unvaccinated. It's a fucking terrible situation. I just got off the phone earlier today with a good friend of mine who is literally a scientist. Not only that, he also owns a laboratory currently where he develops beverages and stuff like that.
He's a chemist.
He works with big fucking he's a chemist. Well, in his previous occupation, he brought 5 drugs to the market, like 5 drugs from a drug company that he worked. I'm not going to mention which one it is, but he was in charge of 5 drugs coming to the market. And he said the amount of testing and shit like that had to be done to bring these drugs to market. He's actually looking at the data of this COVID shit and this COVID shot. And he says the data is not even fucking close. He said that he's not as far on the conspiracy end of things as I am. Make up your own decision. But he basically told me that if the data came back and was actually done correctly, he might consider getting that shot done. He might consider it if the data was brought back after time and he's seen that it really was something that was working and it was something that was going to be effective. But what he's also saying is that they're changing the blend of this thing as they're administrating it. So as they get data, they're changing the blend and putting it out into the population. So the COVID shot that people get today is not the one that they got in the beginning. So the blend is continuously being changed. And he said that they don't have anything set up for like a data infrastructure that is publicly available that will show like what blend this one did. Is there side effects with this one and that one and so on and so on? So pretty much he said it's a big clusterfuck. He said they probably had lobbyists in Washington that got past the FDA approval, that eventually got past the FDA approval, because there's nothing that's ever been rushed through at this level that has been untested. So literally the people right now who have this thing are the lab rats. They are the ones that are being fucking tested on.
But here's the thing though. At the time, it was President Trump that was trying to rush this vaccine to get it out to everybody.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's straight up. That's just fucked up. See, and that's why I'm just kind of like, my guts tell me there's just not enough stuff out there for me to want to go and stick myself.
But I honestly do not think that President Trump would try to force it. Like, I don't think he would have tried to force the vaccine like they're trying to do now, the current administration. The current administration is trying to do whatever they can to force the vaccine. And then, man, you know what? By God's will, we moved down here to Texas. And what did the governor just sign today?
Well, it was an executive order. I think he already had one like somewhat already in place, but it was not, he's not down for the vaccine passports or making, mandating people to go out and get the vaccine. But I don't know this governor that well. See, when it comes to like politicians, when it comes to these scientists that are like out there in the public eye, like I'm questioning you like big time. I'm not like standing in your corner rooting for you. I'm like, you know.
So she's a conspiracy theorist too.
I mean, I guess if that's what you want to call me, but I've always been the type of person to where I've always questioned stuff.
I've done enough drugs in my past, especially like LSD and mushrooms and a lot of hallucinogenic shit that makes me fucking question everything and everybody.
But my biggest concern is like with especially females that are very liberal, like how can you be all cool about being pro-choice when it comes to a woman's body, but you're like, you need to go out and get this vaccine because you're the problem. You're the reason why my kid is going to end up getting sick, or my grandma that has this type of whatever, she's going to get sick. You know, and I'm just like, why can't we just let people live the way they want to?
Well, yeah, what I notice is that like somebody who's on the liberal side of things, they're always going to take some sort of stand that like the world that they're moral, right? Like it's almost like we talked about this in some of my previous podcasts. It's an overcompensation, meaning that they probably feel inside like the most immoral fucking people ever because number one, they're usually the most judgmental, very fucking judgmental. So they act overly like they're non-judgmental. So because they're judgmental, they've got to publicly act like they're non-judgmental because they're trying to make people think that they're somebody they're not. Most of the time for them folks, it's about image rather than character. Okay. Image rather than character. Now, image is what other people see. Character is actually who you are. So to me, that's what I noticed in the difference of the two types of people. Now, I'm not just trying to call everybody black and white because I do believe there are people that have certain reasons to believe the way that they believe, especially if they had some sort of core value violated. You know, like I knew an individual that really needed healthcare, the certain type of healthcare. And that was a core value that hurt them because they had a loved one that needed the healthcare, but they couldn't get the healthcare because the other party didn't have it, wasn't pushing it, and the other party was. So they formed this opinion on one big major issue. Now that's a little bit different, but I'm just saying in general, what I notice and what I see in my world. And I'm not even talking about some of the ones that I deal with, because if you're a liberal person and I deal with you, you're a fucking major exception and you're probably pretty amazing as a person. Because if you weren't, like, I pick up on that shit, I probably wouldn't even fucking be dealing with you.
I guess.
I'm just being honest. You know, like I said, that the whole thing I was talking about the other day about the 3 loves you got to have.
I know. It's just personally, I just don't see how hard it is for people just to be a good human. Like, it's really not that hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that hard at all. Like, you know, you're out and about and you see someone that needs the, you know, like they can't get the door, so you get the door for them. Or maybe it's an older person, they need a little help carrying their groceries to their car, or, you know, just like shit like that. I'm just thinking, why can't we? Because if we were all good humans, this world would be not what's going on right now.
I think this shit's going to turn into like a fucking zombie apocalypse.
Dear God.
I'm serious. I'm serious. I think what's going to happen is these people that got these vaccines, and it's very unfortunate because I got a lot of people I love that took the vaccines, but there's like, they never asked me my fucking opinion on it, or they knew my opinion on it. You know,
they're not going to turn to zombies.
No, I'm telling you, here's what's going to happen. These people that took the vaccines, their fucking immune system is going to be worthless at some point, especially if they continue to take the booster shots. So what's going to happen is they're going to all start dying. I fucking hate to say it like that, but what's going to happen is they're all going to start dying.
You don't know that, though. It might not happen that way.
And when they do, they're going to be, their last straw is going to be like, the whole world needs this. The whole world needs vaccinated. It's the only way that it can save me, because then there'll never be any viruses and
that's not true.
But I know that's not true, but that's going to be like their last ploy. So it's going to be like, we're going to have a war of the, I know, right? I fucking hope this doesn't happen.
Over
Don't
vaccine.
think that I hope this doesn't happen.
See, I
was talking to a fucking doctor at Kluko's event. I'm not going to say the doctor's name, but I know a doctor. And I was talking to a fucking doctor, and this is the same shit that he was telling me. He said, and you know what I asked him as a doctor, I was a little confused. I'm like, so do you think you should take it or not? He goes, hell no. He goes, you know why I don't want you taking it? He goes, because I want you beside me with a gun.
Well, I don't know what to say about that, but I will tell y'all a story. So way back in the day, and I think I probably might have told this story a time or two. But when Jonathan was in high school, I think he was like a freshman or something, he got like this horrible cough. And I thought maybe he just got the flu or something of that nature. Took him to the doctor, whatever. They did this test and they're like, I want to go ahead and test him for whooping cough because this stuff is going around. They test him for whooping cough. And then the next day they're like, yeah, he's positive, and came back and he had whooping cough. And they're like, well, you need to go ahead and call like the school nurse and this and that. And he has to stay home for like a whole week, which he was tickled. He was tickled to death to stay home because all he did was, you know, he could play video games, do whatever the hell he wanted to do. But the thing is when I was talking to the school nurse and I told her that, she's like, I am so not surprised that he ended up coming back positive for whooping cough. And think about it. When you have a child and they're getting vaccines, they get a vaccine for the whooping cough. And she was telling me that over time, these vaccines, they wear off and whatnot. But she was saying that at Centerville High School back in Ohio, and it was right around exams, right before they were getting ready to go for Christmas break, is that there were a lot of kids that had this. And she was basically saying that the school knew what was going on, but they weren't going to, let the kids out or close school down because they wanted to get through the exams so they could start their Christmas vacation. That's fucked up.
Yeah. So, we should have, because if you look back a year to date today, me and her, we both did a podcast out on my public wall, and we both had aluminum hats on. It seems like history tends to repeat itself. We didn't intend to come on here and have a conspiracy theory podcast. We really didn't.
I don't think it's very conspiracy theory. You're giving your opinion and I'm giving my opinion.
That we're getting ready to be into zombie apocalypse.
And we're going to be like trying to hunt down the last store that has Twinkies in stock.
Oh, God.
What was that movie
called? We'll have these like vaccinated people.
Was that was called Zombieland,
wasn't it? You need your vax. You can be like us.
No, that was called Zombieland, wasn't it?
Yeah, Zombieland.
Yeah. It was like Woody Harrelson was trying to find the last store that had Twinkies because he loved Twinkies. I remember Twinkies used to be so good, and I ate one not too long ago, and I'm like, these do not taste the way that they used to taste when I was a kid.
The best way to eat a Twinkie is a deep fried Twinkie. Man, talk about a fucking sugar rush. But that being said, guys, I'm actually on day 15 of 75 Hard, and you are seeing your boy right here wearing a t-shirt that's a fucking large.
That his wife picked out. So yesterday,
this thing be plugging the guns and everything.
John will go out, we'll go into stores, and I'm like, do you think you need anything? John's like, oh no, I'm good. I'm so good. I don't need anything. And I'm like, are you sure? A few weeks go by. John's like, all my clothes are I've had to either thrown them away, they've gotten holes in them, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, but didn't I just tell you a couple weeks ago, when we were in the store, maybe look around, see if you can find something. So yesterday we went into Dillard's and I said, we are on a mission to get this man some shirts. John walks in. I've heard this a gazillion times. And he goes, I'm looking for a new style. And I'm thinking, no, you're not looking for a new style. You're just looking for some of the same type of clothes that you used to have, but now they're new ones. So I just let him go on with his whole thing about I'm going to find this new style and stuff like that.
A new me.
And then he's like, I'm going to pick all this stuff out. Listen, John picked out 2 t-shirts, but everything else that we left that store with, me. I'm the one that picked everything out.
I couldn't believe this shit. I put
he's wearing.
I put these jeans up there, and then we got to the checkout, and
I knew how much they were.
I normally don't look at price on shit. I just grab what I want and buy it. That's the beautiful thing about working your ass off all the time is, you can do that. So we throw it up there, and they ring it out, and I was like, I just happened to look at it, and I'm like, whoa. I looked at her. I'm like, these jeans are $175. She's like, yeah, John, I knew that.
I'm like, you're going to get these jeans because you're going to wear them until they have holes in them. They're going to be one of your favorite pairs. They look really nice on you.
They're a pair of True Religion. And I like True Religion stuff. And, but the times that I went into that store, it was usually at the outlet store back home. So we had a True Religion store, but it was an outlet store. And I think normally the shit was just cheaper.
Yeah, but the point I'm getting at is John thought he was going to go in there and pick out all his clothes. He's going to come out with this new style, and it wasn't. It's the same style. I just picked out clothes that were a newer version to what he previously had, and it worked out.
I'll tell you one thing, y'all. Anybody who's in the market for cowboy boots, y'all ain't getting a nice pair of cowboy boots under $500.
That's true, and I really recommend.
And the nice ones are about $1,000.
And I really recommend going to Cavaliers. Is it Cavaliers?
Cavaliers, yeah.
Cavaliers, because When I went in there, Jonathan got his first pair, and the gentleman that helped us, the knowledge that this guy spit out when it came to finding the right pair, how they're supposed to fit, especially when you're walking and all this and that. Like, I was blown away. I'm like, I could sit here and like listen to you all day, and I would take all this knowledge in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna. The next thing that's on my list right now, and they're not even that expensive. I found out yesterday because I always thought they were expensive because they were in a case and they were sterling silver and all this kind of stuff. But it's a new like a belt buckle, like a fucking like a badass fucking belt buckle.
John wants a big old belt buckle.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jesus, take the ball. You know what it is I'm just not used to you dressing like that. So it's a little uncomfortable. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm out of my comfort zone.
Somebody said new style, shave your beard. That
will never happen.
I doubt you're ever going to see me beardless.
Here's the thing. I have to. So when we move into our home, I will dig up some photos of John when he had no face hair. And it was when he worked for Danny Yogurt. And the only photos that I have is when Jonathan was first born. And you guys will shit yourself. You'll be like,
There's a couple of them floating around out there.
You'll be like, that man. Well, maybe when you were like younger, but like when we had Jonathan, I'm just like, that man was born to have face hair. This man right here was supposed to have a beard like that. He was never meant to not have face hair. That's the thing. And we have one of our dogs in the background that really wants to be not nice. Mm-hmm. She wants to get her bark on, and we're preventing her from getting her bark on.
Yeah. So, but hey, honey, I think we're about done. We got 36 minutes into this. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think I got what I needed to get out.
She got what she needed to get out.
Yeah. I had my hair day today, so it was like really nice because the gal that I go to, she has an assistant that does this amazing head and neck massage, and I was just a little stressed out, and it just it went all away. God knew what I needed.
That's right. So anyhow, y'all, appreciate you coming along on this Marketing Revolution podcast. And as usual, let's see you on the next one.
And remember, it's all about the motherfucking hustle.